So this video is going to use a project that some students created modeling the next-gen Mars orbiter based on some goals and objectives from NASA. And so let's say we want to find out what mission goals and objectives their design actually satisfies based on the trace relationships they've created. So we're going to go ahead and make a generic table here, and we'll call this Mission, Investigations, and Objectives. And these are all, I know they happen to be modeled as use cases, so we will make that the rows that we're going to be working with. And instead of picking a folder or package or dragging in a smart package or some collection, we're going to use the query builder here right in the table to decide what we want. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to return all of the use cases that are in their behavior package. So I'm going to do this one step at a time to kind of show you how this works. So we're going to go to behavioral analysis, and this is going to return all of the use cases that are in that package. So I know that's working. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a meta chain. So you can actually expand the meta chain. We're in expert mode here, and I can drag my find onto the context. So that becomes the starting point for the meta chain. And so we're going to hop from that use case, and we're going to follow the trace relationships that they've established. So we're going to use the directed relationship of source. So those are all the relationships that start here with the use case. We want to follow just the traces, and we want to go to their targets. And so when we say OK to that, now we just have the goals and investigations and objectives. So I want to filter the goals out in this case because we decided we wanted an investigation and objective table. So I can now come to my meta chain, and I'm going to use that as the scope of a new find. And so we're going to look for use cases that have the applied stereotype of investigation. And so when I say OK to this, you're going to see the table shrink to just the investigations. Well, I also want the objectives, so I need to union this with the query that brings the objectives back. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create a union, and I'm going to drag in this find that is stacked up with the meta chain and everything else. I'm going to drag that in there, and if I hold the control key down, I can drag it and basically make a copy. And so this one, I'm going to switch the investigation stereotype to the objective stereotype and say OK. And all of a sudden, in a matter of seconds, I cloned that, all that work, duplicated it, and now I've got a table that gives me the investigations and objectives that are traced to use cases that the students built out. And so we're using the model to talk to us. Again, all the relationships there can be mined in this way. But the important thing to know is that by doing it here, it's specific to this table, and it's quite useful. So again, important things to remember: you can drag things onto the meta chain to set the context, and you can control drag things to copy them inside the structured expression builder. Again, very powerful tools that we can use to do work. And of course, if we went ahead to show columns and made either derived properties or custom columns, we could use the same principles. So I hope you find this useful. And again, that is how we use the query builders, both for smart packages and for generic tables, to let us answer questions in the model in a matter of moments. So after I completed that video, I decided it would be useful to show you what the relationships look like. So here is the relationship matrix between all the goals and objectives, and as you can see, there's quite a few of them, and all the other use cases in the model. So their use cases are kind of here in the middle. And so if we just turn on the ones that do have relationships, you can see a fairly compact list here, and they've traced their use cases to this relative handful of goals. So that's and objectives and investigations. So that is, all these relationships are what fueled that table. And then over here, just to show that this is returning the correct information, if I turn the applied stereotype on, you can see this is returning just the use cases that have the investigation or objective stereotype applied. So thanks again for your attention. Have a great day.